boosting your focus and maximizing it has such a level of improvement on your mind, on your life, when you actually start to understand how much focus really does for you. It makes 4 hour work sessions go into 2 hours, constantly comprising your time and maximizing that. Time is the most valuable thing you have. So if you can cram that annoying work that you don't want to do into a much smaller time frame, it will probably be more attractive to you. Not only this, but you'll actually gain the knowledge easier, quicker, and faster, and notice the compounding effects of deep focus, the quality of work that comes with it, and your knowledge consolidation just simply by doing that. You know, there's nothing, people really over focus on discipline, and the thing is that, you know, your brain is it's a brain state of focus that you can engineer. And here's 5 niche science-backed ways to genuinely focus max on another level. So the first one, and these aren't going to be things you're probably familiar with. The first one is something, you know, crossing the borders of ophthalmology, the study, the science of the eyes, and also neuroscience. And it is using your eyes to trigger focus. So if there's one point on the screen right now, maybe, you know, pick the letter E, or maybe something even smaller than that, a really small point that you can deeply focus on. If you stare at this one spot for 30 to 60 seconds, when you narrow your focus onto that one point, you're actually changing your catecholamines in your brain in terms of the levels and the balance of them to increase your focus and your ability to learn things and pay attention and be more alert. You are increasing your norepinephrine, and you're also increasing your acetylcholine, which is your learning thing. If you didn't have any acetylcholine in your brain, you wouldn't learn. So that's how important this is. And when you boost that, learning becomes far easier. So this is priming your brain to pull your mental focus into what is following the visual focus. Here's something to understand about your visual focus. Your mental focus is following the visual. Whatever you're looking at, you're probably thinking about. And this is why, you know, or you're paying attention to the thing that's, you know, throwing out the audio. You know, when you're watching a movie, it's much easier to listen to it when you're looking at it rather than looking away. It's these sorts of things. When you're actually paying, your mental will always follow your visual in that way, and then everything, every other pieces of your sense data will be paying attention to the thing that you're looking at, and also your thought processes as well will align with that. So that is the first one. The second one is work with your ultradian rhythm. Your brain runs in roughly 90-minute cycles of high and low focus, and fighting through the dip is why long sessions feel like mud. This is why, you know, making sure that you can at least sustain these long periods of work, but not going over the 90-minute. I do not recommend that for anyone. You must have a break if you want to perform. And the people who are like, oh no, like, you know, every minute counts and all of that stuff, these people don't particularly win, or they end up spending way more time on something that could have taken way less time if they just gave their brain a damn rest, because they're human. Your brain, you've got to understand that you're not this machine, this robot that can just keep going and going and going. You have to optimize in alignment with your biology, which is optimizing the ultradian rhythm, which is in 90-minute cycles. So work in focus blocks of around 90 minutes. If you've maybe got ADHD, or you notice that you struggle to, you know, sustain attention on these long, deep focused work, maybe move it down to 25 minutes or 45 minutes or whatever suits you best. Like, you know you, and it's best to really kind of document that and how these long, deep work sessions really go on for. Then take a proper break, not with stimulation. Let your attention reset. Allow those thoughts to run wild and free. Allow yourself to just distract yourself with your own thoughts, I guess, without going into another habit or focusing on something else like a TikTok video or another YouTube video. Low stimulation, silence, a walk, simply lying there, maybe doing non-sleep deep rest. There's plenty of good, you know, 20-minute, 15-minute non-sleep deep rest things you can find on YouTube to follow, and follow those guides. They're amazing for you, really, really positively impactful for your motivation levels and your focus, and also consolidation of information. So especially if you need to remember these things and really build the skill of the deep work that you're focusing on, it's extremely important that you can also consolidate that information, which NSDR immediately after is great. So also adding that in. 3, let a little boredom charge your focus. So constant stimulation will fragment your attention and drop your dopamine baseline down before you even start the work. So nothing holds your interest. And this is why when you do action, that actually builds your motivation. The dopamine, it's sort of, it optimizes and it's on your side after you choose to do the action when you actually don't feel motivated. Then the motivation starts to build after. That's what people don't understand. And this also works vice versa. So if you go and do action that kills your motivation, if you reward yourself for nothing, you're then doing the opposite effect and it's lowering your motivation. So making starting easier is going to be by removing these rewards that you have free access to. And this can be deliberately sitting in boredom, staring at a wall has been extremely effective. And if you're not interested in staring at a wall, then go for a walk. There's no pressure. You can be in nature, you can enjoy nature. It might make you feel a little bit bored, but really low stimulation, minimizing the stimulation will maximize your focus, because work becomes enjoyable if you've been staring at a white wall for half an hour. It doesn't need to be half an hour, by the way. It can be 10, 15 minutes. But what you'll notice is when you enter the task, you feel engrossed, you feel entertained, but most importantly, you feel regulated and focused for that same reason. And, this is also going to change your prefrontal activity, because I've mentioned this a lot because I really want to get this in people's heads. The prefrontal cortex and amygdala seesaw. So your prefrontal cortex is that part of the brain that's going to help you focus, make really good decisions, get you to do the work and make positive decisions. And your amygdala is basically the reactive fight or flight part of your brain that wants to do the opposite and stay comfortable and survive. So when one is active, the other one is inactive. So when you do the staring at the wall, you are increasing your prefrontal activity when the task starts and decreasing your amygdala activity at the end, because you are clearing out your thoughts and you're relaxing yourself. That might not be relatable to you and you might feel quite irritable when you start, but when you let it subside, then it actually changes that side of the seesaw. And this will help you focus and make better decisions and actually choose to start working. Then the next one is using, as I mentioned before, using non-sleep deep rest to reset your attention span. The reason why this is so important is because in order to rewire your attention span, if you've been consuming short form content, no shame involved, it happens. And we were brought up with that technology young, but it's really, really important that we really start pushing back and rewiring our attention spans whilst our brain is the most malleable and neuroplastic it will be. So you can always rewire your brain no matter what age you are, but it's going to be much quicker and adaptable to rewire to things the younger you are. So basically, today is the perfect day for you to start, and it always will be, is the soonest part and time that you can actually start, because obviously you can't start in the past. But this is going to help you consolidate the information, also elevate dopamine levels, and then also, as I said, also change the catecholamines balances in your brain, which will then enhance your ability to maintain focus and attention. Also regulating your nervous system, and something to understand about regulation is integration of information. So when you are, actually calmed down, relaxed, maybe after, a therapy session or after you've learned something, regulating your nervous system is integrating that new information. For example, if you had some sort of trauma release in a therapy session, then you regulate your nervous system after. It's then teaching your nervous system, oh, okay, this is the new information, this is the new stuff now. We can move past that, because that doesn't really happen nearly as effectively when you move straight into stimulation after. And that's important to, really focus on that. And also getting really good REM sleep. This is also, where the real proper rewiring happens. NSDR is more like marking out, in your brain with acetylcholine. Here, we need to learn here. It acts as a highlighter. We need to learn here, 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 and here. And then when you go to bed, your brain knows where to do the rewiring work. And number 5 is anchor your focus to a fixed cue. Your brain learns by association. So I'll give you mine for, hitting the gym or for doing deep work. So for mine, hitting the gym, it's a bowl of Greek yogurt with fruit and maple syrup. I eat it every single time before I go work out. So when I don't feel like working out, I eat that bowl because it puts me in that state, or I put my gym clothes on. For deep work, it's a coffee, or obviously if it's later in the day and I haven't got the deep work done, then I will just simply drink a glass of really cold water, which will then it kind of also it boosts your alertness, your awareness, and that also has a strong association with each other. Maybe splashing your face with cold water, that's also effective. This is going to help you move into that. The last thing is Parkinson's law, because I'm running out of time here. Parkinson's law is You know, if you think it's going to take you 10 years to do something, it might actually only take you 2 years to do something, but because you thought it would take you 10 years, it took you 10 years. But if you shred that down and really compress that, you can minimize that time framing. Thank you very much for watching. If you're interested in my one-to-one coaching, school community, go into my bio on my Instagram or TikTok.